I'm Karen Smiles. Welcome to another view. We begin our program this week with Trenton's Cavalier drill team. They marched from coast to coast, leaving a blazing trail for all to remember. Today, those champions of yesteryear placed their efforts on a new team to combat juvenile delinquency and drugs. The Cavalier drill team marched onto the scene over 4 decades ago and is attempting to revive the popularity earned as 24-time state and national champions. What began as Boy Scout Troop 32 back in 1946 quickly became known for its execution of precision drills. And thanks to founder and drill master Robert Bingham, who is now deceased, many of the team's original members have fond memories that live on.
During those days, if you didn't have a family that had money, which most of us came from the projects, you didn't go too far outside of the limits of your neighborhood. So the Cavaliers gave us opportunity to travel. I remember that I traveled to Detroit, New York City, Philadelphia, Delaware, Washington, D.C., all because of the Cavaliers.
There were approximately 150 kids that came out, and it looked as though it was a outing. I guess if you were to say there was someone throwing away $1 million bills, everyone would come out. Well, this is the way it looked when I came out to join the Cavaliers, and out of 250 people, there were only 9 that were chosen, and I was one of the 9.
I think one of my fondest memories would have been when we were in Miami, Florida, and we were on the main street. I don't remember what street it was. And as we were approaching the reviewing stand, there were some people, I do not know where they were from, but we could hear them screaming, "Here's that group from New Jersey. Here's those guys from Trenton." And that was just so exciting. I believe that must have been about the greatest thing, other than the fact of appearing on a podium at the World's Fair.
Ask any Cavalier what made them so great, and it's almost certain you'll get the same response. Robert Bingham.
Okay, now let me run a little bit about Mr. B, Pop. I call Pop, like the former president made a poem about him that said that Mr. Bingham was a watermelon. And from this watermelon, we are the seeds. Now we became watermelons. And we got to give away what's so freely given to us. Like, I traveled from Maine to Miami, from New York to Los Angeles. I've been on TV 7 times, radio twice. I drilled for 2 presidents. Always, he all the time said, never have an Amos and Andy affair. If we can't go first class, we ain't going.
Mr. Bingham, the founder, I think he provided a program that in the state of New Jersey was never even heard of. I mean, across the country was never even heard of. You know, to take 50 or 60 young men, you know, from inner city and give them, you know, something to do, esteem. He taught us self-worth. He provided leadership for us, you know, when there wasn't a lot of leadership around.
Becoming a member of this award-winning drill team was no easy task.
You had to have a good grade in school. You could not be in any serious trouble in the neighborhood or in the community. You had to respect your parents, and you could not get in trouble. If you did not have a certain grade average, you would be suspended from the team, or if you got in trouble, you would be suspended from the team. There were times that we had a member to say, go on to college or into the military, and we would have 2 or 3 vacancies. We would put out the word in the community that we were having tryouts for the Cavaliers, and we would get darn near 400 to 450 kids coming out for 1 or 2 positions. So we had a process of elimination, weeding them down in 2 or 3 days to finally get the one person that came in to replace the person that left. Now, the community was very knowledgeable of the Cavaliers. All the kids were very knowledgeable. They would come and see us practice, watch some of our moves so they could practice, so if the opening became involved, they could come and try out.
One of my predecessors used to live in the same projects that I grew up in, and we used to go along with his brothers, we used to come to this very spot here and watch them perform, you know, and he told us when they were opening up initiations for new members, and he suggested that we come and try out. So we came, and well, we did a little rehearsing beforehand to impress the director, And we came and we tried out. And we made it, a group of us made it on our first try. We were from Lincoln Home Projects. And we made it on our first try. And from there, it's nothing but success.
And if you were lucky enough to be one of the chosen few, you were practically considered a local celebrity.
I guess it's like being an NBA star. You know, you finally made it. You know, you're part of a group that was well known, not only in the city of Trenton, but around the state and other states.
Well, I guess the best way to describe it would be to say that in those days, it was everything. Like numerous times, I would miss breakfast or lunch or dinner just to be part of the team. We felt that it was such a great thing to be a part of that you would do anything to be a member of that team. So it's hard to explain. It was unexplainable how great it was just to be part of it.
These days, former drill team members are coming together to try to instill in a new breed of Cavaliers the pride and spirit they all experienced.
Our goal, Cavalier 2 goal, is to mold you young ladies into being young ladies with respect. If you notice, the young ladies that's in uniform, we do not drill in skirts. We do not wear Dale Evan Roy Roger cowboy boots. We wear combat boots like these. They must be shined. Shoestrings must be red. Uniform must be ready at all times.
Well, we feel that when the kids are involved doing something positive, then they're not doing anything negative, which makes sense. Our involvement with the kids, it's real important because on a daily basis, when I'm riding up and down the streets, I see a lot of kids that really need something positive to do. Times have changed quite a bit. We used to have a lot of people that used to get involved with quite a few civic things, like the Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and a lot of that is gone now. So we understand that there is a need. So we, as alumni members, we know what it took for us to stay out of the streets and away from drugs and alcohol. So we decided to get involved, and it's our responsibility because it was given to us.
I hope that we're able to get a building and to try to recruit more people within that building, have many different components, like auto theft programs, drug programs, any type of remedial, musical, things that'll make them stay out of trouble, you know.
How does it feel to see the Cavaliers coming back?
Well, you know, it's just like anything else that's great. Sometimes they are tarnished, but you never can get rid of it because of its greatness. And I think because of its greatness, it has withstood the test of time itself. And anytime you get something so fine and unique within itself, then, you know, it has a way to bring itself back out of history and make history again.
I'm glad to see it happening, and I'm going to take part in and make it happen because it gave the young men in those days something to look forward to, and hopefully we'll do the same for the young people today. And they need it more now than we needed it then.
And the Cavaliers of old are doing everything they can to encourage the new team members, including helping to wash away the tears when some of those complicated moves become a bit of a challenge.
So being a Cavalier, for me, comes from my heart. It's just something that's in me. I can't speak for everybody else, you know, but for me, that's all I live to do. I live to give back what Mr. Bingham gave to me.
Let's talk about it.
Looks like the Cavaliers, too, are on their way to continuing a tradition.